Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to the thrilling Wasteland adventures of Old Man McRib, where we're making our way through the Steel Rain questline, making every evil choice we can, killing and eating as many human NPCs as we can, and just generally trying to cause trouble. Last time, we went and hunted down Marcia with the raiders to try to convince her to come back to the Brotherhood of Steel. That obviously didn't happen. And this time, we're going to go meet up with Paladin Rahmani at Fort Atlas and see if she's learned anything more about the Blue Ridge Caravan and what they might be doing when it comes to all these missing people around Appalachia. Before we get started, remember, if you like videos like this, do go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter. There's always a lot more to come on the channel, and without further ado, let's head into Fort Atlas and go find Paladin Rahmani. We'll find her in the basement talking with Art Knapp.
I understand your frustration, Mr. Knapp. Finding everyone that has gone missing is my top priority, but we need more evidence before we can act.
Evidence? Well, what more do you need, huh? Are you saying my Cassie is a liar?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Initiate. Excellent timing. There's something we should discuss. Mr. Knapp here has come to us with another missing persons case.
My niece Cassie. Cassie Holloway. She paid some caravan and folk to help her travel here from out west. Sent me some letters just before she set out. Them letters arrived just fine, but she didn't. I went and spoke with them caravanners, and they tell me that my Cassie never set out with them at all. Those, Blue Mountain,
The Blue Ridge Caravan Company.
Yeah, why don't you slow down a second and tell me the full situation?
Mr. Knapp's niece, Cassie.
Cassie Holloway, my sister's girl, about 20-something.
Right. Miss Holloway apparently paid the Blue Ridge Caravan Company to transport her to Appalachia. It would appear she never arrived. However, the people Mr. Knapp spoke with at Blue Ridge claim she was never a client to begin with.
Except them's damn liars. I got letters from Cassie. She spells them out plain as day. I'm traveling with Blue Ridge something or other.
Right. All caught up, Initiate?
Yeah, so Blue Ridge, huh? I found a letter saying that mercenaries would acquire people from them.
Really? This letter said they would acquire more people from Blue Ridge? Interesting. This is the first real lead we've found, and it connects directly with what Mr. Knapp is reporting. Huh. I actually had my own suspicions about the organization, but this information certainly tips the scales.
Yeah, all these disappearances make me very uncomfortable. There's only one person in the Wasteland who should be randomly disappearing Wastelanders, and that's me. So I want to hunt down who did this, but you know, I've done riding shotgun before, so I've worked with them, and they don't really seem very suspicious.
I imagine any shady operations they may have in play wouldn't be something so easy to stumble across. Though it's good to know you've had some dealings with them. And maybe that'll provide a foot in the door.
What makes you so suspicious of Blue Ridge in the first place?
I've made several attempts to contact the Blue Ridge Caravan Company in hopes of trading supplies. They turn me down. Every time. I understand that the Brotherhood can be an intimidating presence, and the West Virginia chapter didn't exactly leave behind a shining legacy, but I think we've shown we have Appalachia's safety and security at heart. Yet they remain unwilling to even speak. I find it suspicious. During our travels, we found that a caravan group was just as often a cover for slavers and raiders, the friendly guys for rolling through towns. I didn't suspect Blue Ridge of such at first, but their repeated refusal to talk, Mr. Knapp's story, and this letter are simply too much to ignore.
So basically you're suspicious of the fact that they're not excited to have your boot on their neck. All right, what's next?
We need to investigate this Blue Ridge Caravan Company immediately. Well, they have an office at the west end of the Big Bend Tunnel. Initiate! I'd like you to meet me there. But try not to attract too much attention either. If they realize we're in the Brotherhood, they may clam up.
Roger, Paladin. I'll meet you there. When we get there, we'll find Paladin Rahmani trying to be discreet and failing miserably.
Ah, there you are, friend. Sorry for the informality, but we should keep a low profile. Don't want to spook anyone that might be listening in.
You mean like the bartender that can hear you talking at full volume in this room? Sure thing, Layla. We'll keep a nice low profile.
Huh. Don't get too used to that. But listen, I was hoping we could talk for a few minutes before we head upstairs. Let me buy you a drink. What do you say?
Why, Paladin? I didn't know you saw me that way. But I shouldn't be surprised, seeing as I have this bathrobe on and, that's gotta get your motor running a little bit.
Oh, cut the crap. I'm being real here. There are some things we need to hash out. Come on, pull up a stool.
Hey, I'm being real too. I know how irresistible I am, but sure, I could use a drink.
Great. Take a seat.
Oh boy, a customer! What can I get for you?
If we had low enough intelligence, we could ask him for a nuka shine. Unfortunately, we don't, so we're just gonna roll with whatever's gonna knock me out the fastest.
I've got a container of nuclear waste in the back, but you don't look like much of a ghoul to me. So, how about a whiskey for now? Okay, here you go. Enjoy.
I'm going to need you to be standing by the end of this, Salamati, my friend.
Standing? What do you want me standing up for? How about I get bombed and go crash in the corner, you go do what you gotta do, and just come back and let me know how it went. Or I guess we can ask you about you and Night Shin.
Aw, I'd rather not ruin this. I just need a brief moment where I'm not a paladin to a headstrong, self-righteous, mutinous knight.
So, not feeling chatty then. Alright, no problem. Cheers. Let's get moving. I got places to go and people to eat.
Very well. Thank you for humoring me, even if it was just for a moment. Let's head upstairs. And remember to keep a low profile. We're just a pair of friendly traders looking for potential business.
Something tells me she needs to upgrade her sneak perk cards. But, yeah, we'll move along, and when we get upstairs, we hear from Aries for the first time.
Look out, here comes trouble.
And now, the Paladin and Joanna Mayfield will have a long conversation.
Ms. Mayfield, my name is Layla. I made an appointment to speak with you.
Please, Joanna is just fine, dear. And while all this cloak and dagger hubbub is flattering, why don't we cut to the chase, Paladin Rahmani?
Well, that was short-lived. Okay, Joanna, it appears I underestimated you.
And looky there. You've got one of these famous vault dwellers in tow. Oh, and I know this one. Made a splash around here. Say, when are you planning to provide some of that skill to my caravans?
I'd appreciate if the job offers were saved for later. We're here on pressing business.
Okay, Paladin. Down to brass tacks, then. It's not an accident that I finally opted to meet with you, after playing hard to get for so long. We know you're interested in the folks that have gone missing. We are too. Been looking into it for a spell now.
All right, good. So tell us what you know, and tell it fast. I don't got all day here, lady.
All right. That's fine by me.
Right now, the most important thing is finding everyone that has gone missing and returning them home. Being upfront with your involvement in this now will be looked upon favorably, because we're not stopping until this is solved and they are safe.
Slow down, Paladin. This is not an admission of guilt or an attempt to weasel out of responsibility. We are just as concerned about these folk as you. We're willing to cooperate in hopes of saving lives, nothing else. And if you're hoping I'm about to spill the beans on some secret abduction scheme, you're out of luck. We have the same goals as you in this.
Honeyed words, but we should proceed. What can you tell us about the people that went missing from your caravan?
Better to just let you take a look for yourselves. Aries! Come on in here!
This guy looks like some kind of guard. Probably armed. Don't take your eye off him, Initiate.
I don't know if he's dangerous, but he does look like somebody who's done suspicious things with a sheep.
Thanks. It's good to follow your instincts. They rarely steer me wrong.
You ring, boss?
Harper's Ferry, the train tunnel. Mind showing our guests the route?
Oh, crap. You really want to go back there?
That was exactly my thinking, Aries. Head on over to that tunnel and show this Duo of detectives, the scene of the crime. Does that sound amenable to y'all?
Yeah, sure. Aries, what are we expecting to find in this tunnel?
Well, the last known whereabouts of one of our caravans. They set up camp there, but come morning, the entire place was abandoned. It was a big group, maybe around 15, including our own guard.
You've lost that many people? And we're only just now hearing about this.
That's on me. I chose to keep this off the books. May be a bad call, but let's save examining hindsight for when we've gotten to the bottom of this.
What else can you tell me about this place, Aries?
The train tunnel itself isn't so important, but underneath is a top-secret gas pipeline running all the way out of the region. It's a pretty discreet route. Safe too, comparatively. Except, the most recent trip.
So, yeah, I think we have what we need. Let's get moving.
Okie dokie, I'll meet you there. It's the big fancy train tunnel, just east of Harper's Ferry.
Now, time is money, and I've burned a bottle and plant worth of caps chatting with you two. So if you don't mind, please direct any further inquiries to my masked associate.
Fine. But after reviewing the evidence, I plan to revisit Blue Ridge's involvement in this matter.
By all means. If you find something that gets us answers, we can talk till the Brahmin come home.
Now, before we dive any deeper into this quest, I just want to take a minute and talk about Aries. There's a lot to this character. He is not just Aries. He is another character that we have dealt with in the game. Well, we haven't dealt with him, but we've heard a lot about him, hence the jokes. So there's a lot more to him. It's very deep, and it's one of the reasons I absolutely love this quest. Unfortunately, if we go into every conversation and every piece of lore surrounding Aries in this video, it's never going to end. But the good news is I've already done that in a different video. Some of you have probably seen it, but if you haven't, I'm going to put a link to it at the end of this video so you can check it out, dive deep into the lore and see what it all is. It's the 4th part in my Lying Low series, so I won't spoil anything in case you truly don't know, but you can check it out. You'll find out the true identity of Aries. If you go through the whole series, it'll probably impact a little more. So just to set a clear expectation for this one going forward, we're going to talk to Aries a little bit, and we'll definitely have some fun with him, but we're not going to dive into that lore in this video because we got to keep it at least reasonably a watchable length. But I will have that link to the other one at the end, so you can go there and check it out. All right, moving on, let's make our way to the Harper's Ferry train tunnel. Now I went a little bit of a backwards way to get there. We're going to climb over this mountain and then jump down it on the other side. But on our way, we run into one of numerous random settlers. This one's a scavenger, and he doesn't need to live anymore. We might as well take his stuff and have a little lunch. All right, let's move along and head on into the tunnel. When we get inside, we see Paladin Rahmani waiting, and we can catch up with her.
Initiate, glad you made it here safely. That Aries character is further ahead. I should mention, every instinct I have is telling me not to trust him. It seems we don't have much choice for the time being, but we'd be wise to keep an eye on him.
All right, Paladin Rahmani, I kind of already know what has you on edge about Aries, so let's just get moving and go meet him.
All right, you take point. Guns at the ready. I spotted some feral ghouls earlier.
All right, so keep an eye out for ghouls. We're going to go ahead and switch to that Exterminator's explosive pipe revolver that I got from Mama Mumbles on Friday. See how that works out for us. It's not too bad. 2 headshots and they're down. Not a bad ranged option if we need one. We can't go that way. We'll make our way through this broken down train car. And remember, we're not going to do a whole lot of lore hunting here. We're just going to make our way through the quest. And I will put a link at the end of the video to the one I did that digs deep into the lore of this quest. But here we go, and I think we're all clear. Yep, there's Aries. Let's catch up with him.
Well, hello there. The spot we're looking for is further in the facility. There's a trick to getting in. Give me one shake of a lamb squatch's tail to get it open. Let's see, 30 days past September, carry the 2.
Is this for real?
And Viola is just a little further ahead. Please, after you.
Fine. But don't think we aren't keeping an eye on you.
I can't blame you. I know I'm a real looker.
I love Aries. He's just the best character. He's probably as close as you're going to get to an old man McRib personality in an NPC, so I can't be too hard on the guy here. So now our only direction is to head further into the tunnel, and here we're going to find some more ghouls. So let's go ahead and take care of business with these guys. All right, looks like 2 shots and down, easy enough. And this room is clear. Let's finish clearing out some more. In the next room, we find 3 more ghouls. They're a little more challenging in groups, especially for a character like Old Man McRib, but it's really not too bad. It sure would be a bit more helpful if Paladin Rahmani or Aries would use their guns and shoot at them and maybe help a little bit, but they're just going to hang out and let the old man in the bathrobe do the work. I can live with that. So the next thing we have to do is check out this giant door over to the north.
Okay, the camp's just past this door here. I'll get it open.
And now we can wait patiently while Aries fumbles with the computer trying to get the door open. Sadly, it's not gonna work.
And that's bad. Oh, that's very bad.
Speak, Aries. What's a holdup?
You're not gonna like this. Follow me. Yep, just like I thought. Let's chat. Welcome to the 9th Circle of Hell. First, the good news. It's bring your own paramilitary night, so the Paladin drinks for free.
Aries, I like you a whole lot, but I got a reputation to uphold here, so you better start making sense or I'll put my fist through that mask.
Well, I hope you've gotten your tetanus shot. No telling where my face has been. But listen up first. Here's the quick version. Clever little me locks that door by setting off a bogus gas leak alarm. But it looks like in order to lift the lockdown, you need to verify there's actually no gas leak. The door is real picky like that.
All right, out with it already, tough guy. What are you trying to get me to do?
I'm trying to get you to drop the bad cop act and listen for starters. If you'll cast your steely gaze to the left, you'll see a massive, impenetrable wall of strangler vines. To verify there's no gas leak, we need to get to the pump room. One guess where the pump room is located.
Behind the impenetrable wall of strangler vines. I'm unimpressed, Aries. Let's keep it moving.
Winner, winner, rad steak dinner. There were some engineers living down here well after the bombs fell. Looks like they lasted a few years even. Which means they had a way of fighting back the vines. Maybe start by looking for how they did that.
All right, Aries, I guess we have no choice. We'll have to find something to cut these vines.
I'll just skulk here in the corner in case another way of opening this door comes to mind. Let me know if you have any luck. Try not to die a terrible death.
This sounds like a very contrived way of getting us killed. Stay sharp, Initiate.
So now we need to find something to get through these vines. And in the next room, we find some clues.
Initiate, look there, behind that gate. Seems like some kind of thrown-together lab. Do you suppose they were making something to deal with the vines? I think I see some kind of chemical on the ground there. We need to find a way to unlock this door.
So to unlock this door, we're going to need to get past this passcode system. To do that, we've got to find the passcode and find some other clues. We find a note. In case you guys forgot, we need to use the new decryption system for entering the password. Stop asking why there's no letters on the stupid machines. Take the password, convert it into numbers. Try using those mechanical engineering degrees for once. Mel.
Looks like we'll need more than just a password to get through. Some kind of code for turning words into numbers, it seems.
If we need to turn letters into numbers, that's some kind of cipher. Here's another note titled IT Work Order. Bish IT Support. Request help. I entered the right password and it doesn't work. Can you guys come help me, please? Ticket notes. $5 says this jackass is misspelling sesame as sesame again. It should be 822, 826, 1422, not 822, 822, 1422. I mean, seriously, we spelled the whole thing out on the board. Is this really that hard? Feel like we're getting a little stupider every day. Must be something in the water. Bish Pipeline IT support. So it sounds like they've created some kind of substitution cipher here to convert the words into numbers, and they wrote it down somewhere. So the next step is just to find the key so we can put the cipher together.
From the sound of it, they wrote the numbering system down so they wouldn't need to remember it. Must be around here somewhere.
And in fact, it's right here on the wall. It's pretty simple. Basically, you take the alphabet and then you assign a numerical value to each letter. That's a fairly common cipher. This one makes it a little more complicated by flipping the values. So in this case, instead of A being 1, it's 26, where Z is 1 instead of 26. Now we need to find the password, and that's on this note here. Since there's only a few of us left down here, we decided to stop changing the password each week. From here until eternity, it's going to be Open Sesame Seed. Why? Because I'd sell any of you to the nearest raider if it meant I could eat another sesame seed bagel again.
Open Sesame Seed, eh? I've always been more of an everything bagel person. Now we just need a way to change that phrase into a series of numbers.
And it turns out we already have that. We looked at it on the chalkboard here so we can take a look. O is 10, P is 11, E is 22, N is 11, 10, 9? No. N is 13. 13. So sesame, 8, 22, 8, 26, 14, and 22. Seed is 8, 22, 22, 23. So we have an idea here what those numbers are. Now we can head over to the password machine where it looks like we'll have one password for each word. Let's go ahead and enter them in. So here our first option is, and you see it's multiple choice, which makes it easier. So open, we know that O was 12. Only one of these options starts with 12, so that's got to be the one. Let's go ahead and pick that one, 12, 11, 22, 13. It's only 4 digits, so that is perfect. Password panel 2 could be a little more complicated. So this is sesame. We know sesame starts with 8. Well, it's not any more complicated because the only option here with 8 is the first one, and we can see that it's 6 characters just like sesame. And now we go to password panel 3. Let's see what we've got there. So here again, we've got 2 with 8s. So for seed, it could be either one of those, but seed is only 4 characters. So it has to be the lower one, 8, 22, 23. And now we should be able to hit the button and open the door.
Well done, Initiate. That was some impressive detective work.
As if the flowing bathrobe wasn't enough to tell you, I am a very impressive man.
Let's have a look at this. Aha! My hunch was right. According to the label, they made an extremely potent herbicide. Judging from this container, it looks like it's meant to be dispersed into a larger system. No sprinklers in here, so... Dear Lord. The facility's water line? That would explain the bodies out there, but... why? They must have known this would happen. No time to dwell on that. Initiate, let's look for a station where we can access the water line. This is what we need to weaken the vines.
And on the floor, we find a note that's going to tell us a little more about this cure for the vines and how it affected everyone living underground. No one left alive, so I may as well admit it. I couldn't come up with a formula to combat the strangler vines. I found some industrial strength herbicide in the storage room, the fancy dispenser, the formula notes, this lab station, all just a facade. At first I added a tiny bit and it worked. No one got sick, seemed fine. You guys thought I was really smart, so win-win, right? They started resisting the smaller dose. Had to up it. I thought maybe our drinking water's filtration system would fix it. People puking their guts out says otherwise. I refuse to drink it. I'd rather let the thirst take me. Sorry, guys. At least I got to feel what it was like to be the smartest guy in the room for a bit. To anyone that finds this, I'll leave some herbicide behind. Just use every bit of it and give those vines my best regards. Mel. So Mel put the herbicide in the water system, hoping that it would kill the strangler vines, but it didn't work. They learned how to resist it, they evolved beyond it, but unfortunately the people who were living down here didn't. They were all killed by the chemical compound. So now we need to find an access point for the water system so that we can put it in here and kill or weaken these strangler vines. We don't have to worry about drinking the water down here because we're not living here, thankfully. But we still need to find that access point, and we do just off to the west in the next room.
Here we go. This looks like it connects to the main water line. Let's talk next steps. I should be able to disperse the herbicide into the water line from here. I'm suspecting that the security system here won't appreciate that. Expect alarms. And the company that alarms tend to attract. Ready for a fight?
Well, I guess. It seems there's two jobs here. One is dumping a thing into a thing, the other is fighting. So, yeah, let's have the decrepit old man do the fighting. That makes some sense. I'll watch your back. Let's do it.
Okay. Fingers crossed and guns at the ready. Let's take a look here. Okay. The chemical has started dispersing into the water systems. Damn. It's detected a foreign substance. Prepare for it to get noisy in here. Initiate, I'll need you to keep them off my back. Ad Victoriam.
And now we'll have a few waves of ghouls to fight off. It's a challenging fight, but it's nothing we can't survive. The walking cane deals with them just fine up close and personal.
The system is blocking me from releasing a sample outside this room. I need more time. Keep it up!
And it looks like we've got time for a quick snack before the next wave starts. Paladin Rahmani's over there gawking at that terminal, doing whatever it is she's doing, and we'll just beat some ghouls to death with a walking cane. So far, nothing we can't handle, even with a 3-star legendary in here. I wonder if he'll have anything good for us. Probably not.
I'm through to about half the facility. Can't stop now. I'll need to reach the drainage system if we're going to affect the vines.
And this should be our last wave. Just a few more ghouls. Now, when you're in this fight, remember, even if you're a stealthy character, the game cancels out your sneak capability, presumably because the alarms are drawing attention to you, but it's still not too hard to handle.
Locking the last gate valve now. Give him hell, initiate.
And I was wrong. There's another wave coming, but not before we chow down on one of their buddies. We'll just break out the cane and finish them off. We're not doing too bad. These guys are fairly squishy, and we're done.
The chemical is pumping throughout the entire water system now, including a cess pipe that was for disposing of unwanted chemicals. Well, one sleazy company's environmental negligence is our gain, I suppose. Those vines should be weak enough to break through now. I wouldn't drink the water if I were you, though.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not planning on it. But now that the vines have been weakened, we can just whack them down. Using a walking cane makes it nice and easy. And then we have to make our way to the pump room. So we just have to hack our way past some more vines, and eventually we'll get down there so that we can tell the computer system that there is no gas leak. But as we make our way deeper into the facility, we hear an ominous sound.
Did you hear that? That doesn't sound like a feral ghoul to me. We should watch our backs in here.
No, Paladin, it definitely does not sound like a feral ghoul. That was definitely the sound of a sheep. And there's only one thing that makes a sound like that in Appalachia, and it's the imposter sheep squatch. So now we're very nervous. Very nervous indeed. But eventually we make our way to the pump room computer. But we can't verify the pump integrity. We've got some very disturbing news.
Hostile robotic entity? That's troubling. Be on the lookout.
It's very troubling indeed. We're going to go through inventory here and try and take any buffs we have because I'm pretty sure that's going to be an imposter sheep squatch, and that's bad news. We'll take a super chem to boost up some melee damage. Let's see what else we have. Did I see a Tesla Science in there? Yes, that'll reduce our damage from robots. That's going to be good to take. I think we're good to go. I've got the shotgun out. We're going to see if we can cripple limbs and maybe kill it that way because while this one is not as tough as the one at the encrypted event, it's still pretty tough. So let's use the quad shotgun, see if we can maybe cripple that head laser before we get too close. Yeah, just stand right in my way there, Paladin. Good going. All right, where's the head? There it is. We've got Enforcer on. A few shots should do it, and it's not taking any limb damage at all. That is very, very bad news. Can we cripple any of the other limbs maybe to do the self-destruct sequence? No, we can't. Let's get away before we get murdered. So if the shotgun didn't work, maybe our explosive pipe revolver will be better. Yeah, not really. Oh, and there's that famous head laser. Meanwhile, Paladin Rahmani's just walking around here pointing her gun at things and not shooting. She's super useful in here. Not sure how she ever got to be the leader of a paramilitary organization, being unwilling to actually shoot at things. But I digress. Let's keep going and find this imposter sheepsquatch. With my guns proving useless, the only real alternative is the walking cane. Let's just get a little distance here and start whacking it. We're doing more damage with the walking cane than anything else so far, so that's good. But it's definitely going to take quite a bit of a beating to take this thing down. Run away from the head laser. Hit up a stim. Old Man McRib is not built for fights like this at all. Fortunately, at least this one isn't legendary, so that's helpful. And it's not invisible, and doesn't do nearly the damage that the one at Encrypted does. Hence the name Sheepsquatch Imposterling, but it's still doing quite a bit. So we want to stay away. We get staggered a lot. That's not helpful. But we're whittling it down. We just need to stand here and beat on it a little bit longer, and then it'll die.
I haven't lost my mind, have I? That was an Assaultron dressed up as a sheep? Whatever it was, it's dead, and we should be able to lift the lockdown. Let's get back to that terminal.
Now, if you've completed the Lying Low quest, you do get a command parameters holotape here that breaks down the lore behind this imposterling. We're not going to go into that here. We'll save that for the other video that I link to at the end of this one. For now, let's go ahead and lift the lockdown, verify the pump integrity.
And that's that. Time to head back to Aries, if he has anything to do with all this.
Heading back upstairs, we find Aries looking nonchalant and mildly suspicious, leaning against the wall, sharpening his knife.
Your boss looks like she's about to strangle me with one of those vines. Something happened in there?
Aries? Between the feral ghouls, the strangler vines, and that insane sheep robot, I've about reached my limit with this place. And your antics. I don't know if this is some kind of trap or elaborate cover-up, but we need to get through that door and get answers. Now!
Whoa, whoa, trap? Where's this coming from? Hold on. Did you say sheep robot? Like the Baba kind or the killer robot kind?
Aries, the door! Now! Please!
Okay, just give me a second. Yeesh.
Nearly there now. We're getting closer to the truth. I can feel it.
As much as I like Aries, I wouldn't be Old Man McRib if I didn't go in for some wanton murder. That Aries guy's clearly guilty. Let's deal with him.
Do you think I'd agree with that? I follow my instincts, and many of them point suspicion towards Blue Ridge and Aries, but we do not just deal with a guilty party on the spot. This isn't about punishment, it's about finding and helping the people at risk. If, after all of this, Blue Ridge is responsible for what happened, we will have our justice. But first, we need to know what happened down here.
Alright, let's see here. Login credentials, check. New terms of employment, yeah. Benefits enrollments expired, sure. And done. Trust me now? I'll even lead the way, so if you change your mind, it'll be easier to shoot me in the back.
Thank you for opening the door. But know that if we find anything linking you to this, you're still going to have to answer for it.
Add it to the catalog of questionable things I already have to answer for.
Aries is quite the character and obviously has quite a bit of background. But now we follow him to the campsite where we'll have to look for 3 separate clues about the disappearances. This area is fairly clear and safe, but there are a few dogs that do occasionally attack, and we'll have to deal with them as they come. So far, nothing too challenging, nothing we can't handle. We find the first clue in the form of a note titled "Damn Radstorms." God damn Radstorms. Of all the trips, it's got to be my turn when the mother of all green glowing death clouds parks itself over the mire. We're going to need to camp out until it passes. I'm already exhausted from babysitting this massive group for the past 2 weeks. Sure, Joe's going to be thrilled by all the transport fees, but she's not the one that's got to deal with the delinquents, uppity merchants, and that weirdo doctor that keeps joining us. At least no one's gone missing, assuming I can get them all to stay close by the camp, that is. Gitano. Gitano must have been the guard escorting this group to Appalachia. The next clue we find is a Caravan Manifest listing all the people and goods that have been along for these caravan routes. Departure confirmed by Ken Turner, guard, Aries. Group details: F and R Fernandez, cannery owner and merchant, provisions. R. Fernandez is Rudy Fernandez. He sells pepperoni rolls outside the Big Bend Tunnel. Minerva, the new merchant who sells gold bullion plans, and Tommy Tentos are guard. L. Liss and J. Clerk. No idea who those are. Arrival confirmed by Vinny. Continuing on, departure confirmed by Ken Turner. Guard Kieran, group details, Dr. E. Blackburn. Doctor. We heard a mention of a doctor that was creepy. And Dr. Blackburn is a B, signed the note B, and we met him in the last incarnation of this DLC. And yeah, he's definitely a creeper. That could be him. We also have C. Marsh, J. Morello, Eugenie, who's a weapon merchant, L. Chappell, J. Brush, A. Rollins, and V. McCleary. Arrival was confirmed by Joanna. So in this case, one person was lost, C. Marsh, but the rest of the caravan made it intact. Now we've got another group led by Libby. Once again, we see Dr. E. Blackburn. That seems a little odd. Carver Timmerman, who's a furniture merchant. We meet him doing riding shotgun, and we heard him mentioned early in a terminal entry in the Lying Low quest. Johnny Bills, J. McQuarrie, B. Schnauzer, C. McDevitt, and that's it. Arrival was confirmed by Vinny. Now, in this case, it looks like B. Schnauzer was lost, and so was C. McDevitt. They had a suspicion that maybe he ditched them to skip the bill. But once again, we had Dr. Blackburn on this route. So what happened to these people? 2 people disappeared this time. And now we've got a final entry guarded by Gitano, who we saw the note from. This must be the missing group. Once again, Dr. E. Blackburn, again, so they're clearly suspicious. C. Halloway, that's Cassie Halloway, that's Art Knapp's niece, so that's who we're here specifically looking for. C. Bernard, D. Boddart, S. Mossy, J. Dullard, M. Tucker, R. Boy, B. Kaufman, A. Fine Hunter, T. Robbins, also a hunter, but this group was bigger, so we've got D. Turner, who's a chef, C. Shepard, a puppeteer, M. Raymond, a mountaineer, I. Nolson, a sculptor. Arrival not confirmed by anyone. So this is a big group. They all went missing. Now, the curious thing here, too, is C. Shepard, puppeteer. It may just be coincidence, but I wonder if this is an Easter egg or an illusion or maybe even a little bit more story to the Puppet Man from Fallout 3 and a comic book that was released by the Fallout 3 writers, detailing a guy who kind of went crazy inside a vault by himself, and he only had puppets to play with, and eventually he escaped, and hilarity ensued in the Wasteland. So I wonder if maybe that's the same puppeteer. We'll probably never know. It's vague for a reason, or they just put puppeteer there and it means nothing. But either way, it's fun to think about. So we've got one last clue to find, and it's pretty clear at this point that this E. Blackburn seems to have something to do with the disappearances. He's been on every route where people have disappeared. We've only got one more clue, and we can find it hidden back in this pipe here, and it's Cassie's journal. This is Art Knapp's niece. Day 1, setting out. So optimistic. Start of a new journey. Foundation, lay out the red carpet for Cassie because I'm about to turn Appalachia's agriculture on its head. I decided to keep this little journal to chronicle all the amazing things I see along the way. Wish me luck. Just 5 days in, miserable. Walking, that's all we do. We walk. Burned down building, check. Forest of smoldering dead trees, check. Oh look, an emptied out Red Rocket gas station. What a thrilling excursion this ended up being. Oh, and to top it all off, there's this creepy bald guy in our group. I keep catching him staring at me. Eyes to yourself, Dr. Pervert. Day 15, so close but so far. We're finally within spitting distance of Appalachia, but a radstorm is raging outside. We've been walking through this old train tunnel all day, and now we can't even step outside until this storm blows over. Going to find a nice spot to get cozy and nap off all this walking. Day 15, night. Okay, this is so weird. These guys showed up all of a sudden, armed to the teeth. They've just been sitting around chatting with that weirdo doctor. Everyone seems a little nervous, even the guard. Wait, they took his gun away. What the hell's going on? Oh shit, they saw me. If someone finds us, help us. Well, now it seems pretty clear this Dr. Blackburn character was involved with a group kidnapping people from the Blue Ridge Caravans. That group was most likely the Hellcat mercenaries that we met in the last episode. Because they disarmed Gaetano, who was the Blue Ridge Guard, that strikes me as making it pretty unlikely that the Blue Ridge Caravan Company's actually involved in this. Seems more like they were just targets. Let's turn our evidence over to Paladin Rahmani.
Seems like you've been pretty thorough. Are you ready to discuss what you've found?
Yep, here's everything I've got.
Excellent. I'll take what you've collected. Let me take a look at what you've found. I just need a minute to review it all.
And more evidence that Aries is the greatest character of all time comes right up here.
Pull out your decoder rings, kids. It's detective time.
I see. That's concerning. Wait a moment. This name. I know this name. I think I've seen enough. Initiate, we should discuss our findings. Well, it seems like Cassie was indeed a part of this caravan group, but I think it'd be a good idea to step through the evidence together. I may have been assuming too much about Blue Ridge's involvement. I'd like to be on the same page, so where would you like to start?
Listen, lady, I'm beat. I've been down here killing ghouls, beating up robot sheep. I've had enough. Just tell me what you found.
Are you sure? I think we should be on the same page before we take action.
Oh, how considerate of you.
Paladin, I'm good. Just tell me what you found.
All right then, here's what I've concluded. The caravan was ambushed by armed strangers, likely the Hellcat mercenaries you fought. Based on the manifest, a Dr. Blackburn attended every trip where someone went missing, including the final one. All of the evidence together points to one clear answer. Dr. Blackburn was hiring these Hellcat mercenaries to kidnap people from this route. It would appear they were cautious at first, but took advantage of a radstorm to steal away an entire group. An unfortunate end, but there's still hope of finding them. The only thing left is to report back our findings and determine Blackburn's location. I'm glad I had you here, Initiate. There's a few things I'm sure I would have missed if you hadn't been here to help. I do believe we make a pretty great team.
Yeah, you know, I think you were being pretty unfair to Blue Ridge and Aries. I told you at the beginning they didn't seem suspicious, but you didn't buy it. If I wasn't here, you might have been locking up Aries for crimes he didn't commit. Never mind the ones that he actually did commit.
I can't blame you. My sights are entirely focused on everyone that's gone missing, but I can't just plow through everything to reach that goal. This experience has helped me see that. It's something that I know I need to improve upon, not just as leader of the Brotherhood, but as a person. And hopefully, to begin earning back your trust. Anyway, we should get back to Atlas and report what we found. If we can determine where Blackburn took this group, we may be able to track down Cassie, and perhaps countless others. I'll meet you there. Good work, Initiate. Aries, I owe you an apology. My rash behavior was unfitting of my position, and frankly, unfair to you.
Water under the bridge. All of my best friendships start with misplaced suspicion of mass kidnapping.
I will take your word for it. I am sorry either way.
If you really want to make it up to me, I've heard you guys have some killer rocket launchers to spare.
Absolutely not.
And with that, we complete the quest Out of the Blue, likely named after the blue color of the Blue Ridge Caravan, not the 1987 pop record by Debbie Gibson. We get the usual bundle of rewards, along with the Brotherhood Civvies outfit that you can see here, and also on Paladin Rahmani. To start the next quest, we'll need to return to Fort Atlas and follow up with the Paladin. That'll put us hot on the trail of Dr. Blackburn and get us closer to understanding what's going on with all these kidnappings. Fortunately, Aries wasn't involved. It would have been a real shame to have to execute such a memorable character. But that's going to be all the time we have today, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you did, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and follow me on Twitter for more updates. And don't forget, I've linked the detailed lore video on Aries at the end of this video. There's a ton of stuff we didn't cover here today. It's well worth it. I'll also link the entire Lying Low playlist if you really want to get the whole story. With that, I bid you adieu. Till next time, I'm Fisty McRib.